So I made a UFO 50 video a few days ago, I believe it was, probably a week ago at this point, and I went over basically all the important little details that you need to know, but in this video I'm going to be going over my top 10 personal most hyped games based on the information we have at the current moment. Once we get later into the year and we get more information on all these games, I'll obviously probably change this list, but these are my 10 most hyped games for now. The list is not ranked, it's based off where it is on the selection screen. So if I like game 48, that'll be probably the last game on this list, you know what I'm saying. Okay, the first game on my list is the 9th game on the selection screen, and it's called A Tactics. So this game is a multiplayer tactical strategy game. I believe all games are single player, so you can probably play against a CPU. At least I think they are. But anyway, the reason I really like this game, and I'm going to be showing the same gameplay on a loop by the way, so sorry about that if it gets old or something, but it's all I have. But anyway, I love strategy games, tactical games. I love Fire Emblem, Triangle Strategy. If you've never played that game, you should play it. Triangle Strategy is a really good game on Nintendo Switch. But my favorite types of games are medieval fantasy type games. So you combine medieval fantasy, strategy tactical game, and also Derek U. It's a good game in my book. It looks good. I can't wait to see more about that, play it with friends, stuff like that. And I just always have a lot of fun with these types of games. So yeah, that's the first game I'm really looking forward to. Okay, so the next game is the 12th game on the list, and it's called, well, not the list, on the selection screen. And it's called Avianos. It's also a strategy game, kind of like, but it's different though. It's like a board game, tile-based game, and it seems like something where you're just trying to gather resources and troops and defend your base, and you can take turns advancing to one square and getting stuff, and there are different stats for each stuff, and you defend, you attack, you collect resources, that type of thing. And again, it just looks intriguing as a strategy game fan like myself. And we don't know a lot about it, which is why I'm showing the same exact loop of just a few seconds. But it does look really fun, so I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, game number 3 is game number 14 on the selection screen. Game 3 on my list is what I mean. It's called Bushido Ball. It's like a tennis style game, multiplayer, and against a CPU, where you can select your character, which has different speed, control, and power, I think were the 3 things. So you have 6 different characters, at least from the start. You pick which character fits your gameplay style the best, which one you like the best, and you basically throw your sword at it, or you hit it and it throws it back to the other person. So it's kind of like a unique way of making a tennis game. And there are some special power-ups that I'm guessing each character has, so if this game has a lot to it, I think it could be really good. This is, I think, my most hyped multiplayer, primarily game that when you look at, you think of as multiplayer and not against a CPU. So I'm hoping that this one's really fun and it has a lot to it, and if so, I think this game will be really good. For number 4 on my list, or whatever you want to call it, this one's kind of cheating in a way because it's 3 in 1, but I'm basically doing the whole Campanella series. And the reason why is because, first of all, the first 2 games are very similar. They're like big action type of games where there's a bunch of screens and secrets as promised. So they're big games, and the second one you can get out of your UFO and explore a little more with, I believe. I'm just going to guess his wife, Isabel, I think it is. And of course to this, there's going to be a lot of lore, and I'm already interested because Pilot was in Spelunky 2. Now the third one is like a shoot 'em up game that's completely different, that Pilot seems to take back control as the main character for that game. What happens to Isabel, I don't know. That's probably part of the lore, but I think the one reason I really like this is if it didn't have Pilot or the lore, I might not be as interested, but to me it looks like it's going to have a really good story, a familiar character, and still the gameplay is going to be good. So games 17, 35, and 48, the Campanella series looks really good to me. Okay, so the 5th game on the list is game number 18, and it's called Golfaria. So I saw that a lot of people seem to really be hyped for this game. It's basically like I don't know if open world or it just has a bunch of levels. I don't know which one it is, but it's basically, which I saw Xanagir described, Zelda meets golf, and it's basically just like your health is determined by the amount of strokes that you can take. So basically, like I don't know if this is for every level, but at least for the one that was shown, you have 20 strokes, 20 moves basically, and you have to maneuver your way through dungeons and getting to the exit, I assume, something like that. But whatever it is, it just looks really interesting to me. And for me, most games on this list are here just because in my brain it looks interesting, because we don't have a ton of footage and explanations. So that's why it's on my top 10, among everything else I said as well. Okay, so the next game on this list is Game 27, and it's called Divers. It's a turn-based RPG. We know virtually nothing about this game, I believe, besides this one screenshot right here. To me, I know that, so obviously I haven't been around for that long, so I don't have a ton of knowledge as others that have been around longer have, but to me this looks exactly like this one mini game that was in, I think it was called Kirby Mass Attack or something like that I played when I was younger on my 3DS, where basically, I mean, it's a turn-based RPG, but it's just like, there's not much going on besides the characters on the screen and a background. It looks exactly like that to me. And I'm assuming, you know, as you can see, you can either pass them or attack them. I don't know what stick means, I'm guessing attack, but something like that. And I'm guessing you gain XP, and then there's bosses and all that. You know, I love RPGs, so that's one reason why I like it. It's hard to go off of much based on a screenshot, but I think that that really does say something, that it shows a lot of promise, even though there's just one screenshot, at least that I could see. So I'm excited to play this one, I think. Okay, number 7 on this list is game number 30 in the collection, and it's called Rock On Island. This game is basically a tower defense game. I mean, I haven't played a ton of tower defense games, but the few that I've played, like Bloons Tower Defense, and God, I can't remember what it was. I don't know, but I've had fun with other tower defense games, and this is a tower defense game in some sort of caveman, you know, island style. So again, even though we don't have a ton of info, I like those types of games, and it looks interesting to me, so that's why it's on my list. So the next game is the 37th game in the collection, called Valbrace. Again, a lot of people seem to be hyped about this game, and I completely agree with that. This is my most hyped game personally, because it's like an old school dungeon crawler game, like the old Elder Scrolls games, like I've said in my previous video. Obviously those games are a little bit different, but it's a dungeon crawler game with also like Punch-Out vibes by the way your character is represented. And it just, again, it's like the medieval fantasy, which is the type of games that I really, really like, which is why, you know, I talk about Elder Scrolls all the time, because I like medieval fantasy and those types of games. But yeah, it seems to be a dungeon crawler game, and it looks really good. It's somewhat later in the collection, so the graphics are obviously a little better, because the story goes that this company, the technology progresses as the game goes, meaning Game 50 is the best technological graphics game, I guess, on paper. But yeah, I'm interested to see the depth of this game, just how big it is. It's not randomly generated, I know, so it should have, you know, a set map and all that, and set bosses and a final boss and stuff like that, so can't wait for this one. The second to last game on this list is the 40th game in the collection. It's called Grimstone. It's an RPG set in the American Wild West. Has turn-based combat. I don't know if it's open world or it's set levels, but, you know, I guess there's not a lot to say except it just looks good. You know, if it's open world, it'll be even better. I'm guessing it's not open world, or it might be somewhat open world. I don't know, but this game is one that I'm looking forward to seeing more information for, and I think it has a lot of promise to it. The final game on this list is game number 44, and it's called Pilot Quest. It's an idle game, which has an adventure mode. I guess depending on what you do during the idle game is the amount of time you get in the adventure. It has Zelda vibes, and you go around and collect moonstones or something like that, and you interact with characters, you attack enemies, you do what you have to do. But I see Pilot, and I'm instantly interested because I like Pilot. And again, the famous quote for this video is, "It looks good," because that's pretty much most of what we have to go off of. Okay, so those were my top 10 most hyped games for UFO 50 based on the current information that we have right now. Kind of 12, but I just combined the 3 Campanellas, even though the last one appears to be very different. I mean, the second one's different too, but top 10 sounds better than top 12, so, you know, you'd get it if you were a YouTuber too. But anyway, that's all I have for this one. I guess comment what games you're looking forward to as well based off what we have now. More UFO 50 videos coming based on new information we get, personal lists, and also, you know, gameplay when it actually comes out and all. I plan on doing the same thing, like the secrets of the game and can you do this in this game, and, you know, stuff like that, what I did for Splunky 2. So if you're looking forward to that, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching this video.